Okay, we're back from the break. Bridget Fonda, I miss you. So
come back, Bridget.
At this point, I'd like to turn over the mic to Susan. Susan, you have a nominee for an actor who should have been a star, and it didn't happen.
Yes, I do.
Go ahead, please.
And I would say it would be Matthew Modine, who
Really?
I think he was fantastic. And in the 80s, 90s, when he kind of hit his heyday, was around that time.
Yeah.
He did amazing films with the best directors in Hollywood. I mean, he did Full Metal Jacket with Kubrick. He did Shortcuts, I think, with Robert Altman.
Yeah, he was good in that. Yeah.
My favorite movie he was in was Birdie. Fantastic performance.
Great film.
As far as I'm concerned, it's definitely Oscar award-winning performance.
I was going to say that might be the best forgotten film.
The best forgotten film, and of his generation, you know, Nicolas Cage, as we all know who he is.
He co-starred in it. He went on and did
he went on to great fame, you know, and I don't understand why Matthew Modine didn't. I mean, he did continue to make films, and he's still working.
Yeah, he's still working.
But he doesn't have the star power that Nicolas Cage does, which is kind of amazing, because I think he's better looking than Nicolas Cage.
Well, a lot of men can say
that. Better looking than Nicolas Cage.
I mean, Nicolas Cage has a quirky quality. Matthew Modine is definitely more like boy next door, good looks. He had the floppy hair, you know.
But I'm going to jump in. Yeah. I love Matthew Modine. Yeah. He did a sports movie. He did Vision Quest where he played a wrestler. So he wasn't a wimpy, sensitive guy.
Not at all.
He was a wrestler.
He could play that, but he could play all kinds of things.
He played the villain in Hotel New Hampshire.
Exactly.
You know, I'm 100% in agreement with you. There was intelligence there. There was quiet charisma. I know that doesn't totally make sense, but if you can buy into that, he had
subtle, nuanced performances.
Yeah, and intelligence. I love And the Band Played On. Right. It was kind of a medical drama about the AIDS epidemic when it was first being analyzed. So I'm in 100% agreement. I would like to see him in more stuff. There have been some bad movies.
True.
Everybody
does a bad movie.
Yeah. But bottom line, for both men and women, I think he works. I think
do too.
So
I don't know. I beg to differ. I think he's kind of a watered down version of Brad Pitt. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like he's just not a very memorable person to me. I'm like sitting here trying to struggle to remember him in these movies that you're mentioning, and I've seen Full Metal Jacket. I've seen I can't remember one of the other films that you mentioned. But I know I've seen it. And I don't remember his performances. Whereas Brad Pitt, I mean, there was just something Adonis-like about him. He was like a god. I mean, I was a young teenager when he became famous, and I was a little obsessed. But regardless, I don't know. There's just something very average kind of about Matthew Modine.
He doesn't have the it quality.
He doesn't have the it quality, no.
Is he a good actor?
Oh, well, I mean, again,
I think he can give a good performance. In Birdie, he had the full package. He acted with his body, everything from the way he walked. I thought that was very memorable.
I think he's a TV actor, basically. You know, he can play. Yeah, I mean, he can play a doctor on a hospital show.
Yeah.
Weeds.
He's on Weeds right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's him as a lawyer, but he just doesn't grab you as dynamic as a lot of those more famous people.
He was in a Kubrick film. He carried a Kubrick film.
No. Kubrick carried the Kubrick film.
No. Right. Everybody remembers Private Joker from that film. They do.
I don't.
It was a well-written role, but
maybe he just doesn't overdo it. I mean, he acts well, but maybe
he serves the film, not himself.
Yes,
and his performance.
Exactly.
All right, that's what I would say.
I agree, and which is why a lot of people don't make it in Hollywood.
Yeah.
In the previous segment, we talked about how maybe Bridget Fonda shows. It was like, hey, what's the big deal about being a star?
Right.
I would argue that Matthew Modine wanted to be a star.
I do too. I've heard him in interviews talk about working. He'll name drop Kubrick and Altman and people like that, and I think he wants to prove to people that he had that quality.
He did make an attempt, and that was Cutthroat Island, not a film that many people remember. And the reason why was it was $100 million Gina Davis pirate film. Okay. It made, I think, $7 million at the box office and bankrupted a studio. He was the male lead. And think that hurt him. That was his. Yeah, that was his.
It was that Paul Reiser film, whatever that was.
Whoa, Bye Love. Yeah, hitching your star to Paul Reiser is never a good idea.
Not a good idea.
So
back to the TV actor.
Is it done for him?
I don't think so. He's on Broadway right now.
Well, is he done?
So maybe. Yeah, maybe.
I
think it's far because he's older now. Yeah.
He was in Transporter 2. He played.
So he is clearly not done.
Well, making his comeback.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe he's not done. I mean, sometimes when actors get older, they.
So there could
later
be
in life.
a Sideways out there that relaunched, say, someone like Thomas Hayden Church.
There you go.
I'm hoping.
A good example.
Because I do feel like Matthew Modine has the same quality that like Philip Seymour Hoffman has. He can do anything, and like Philip Seymour Hoffman can play anything, just like I think Matthew Modine can.
Why do you think that?
I don't know. He just has that quality.
So he's more of a character actor.
I don't see it.
No.
Okay. Well, what I would say is that I don't think it's going to happen. At his age, it'd be tough to launch a major comeback. I think he's going to be a character actor in movies and even TV shows. I think that's where it will play out.
I still think he deserves an Oscar.
You write the role.
I will.
You write the role.
I think you could get one.
Okay. All right. So at this point, I would like to close up the show and say, I'm sure there's people we've forgotten. I'm sure there's a performer that you listening say, oh, they should have mentioned so-and-so. They should have mentioned so-and-so. The reality is there's a lot of people that deserve to be stars and were destined to be guest stars on Friends or Weeds or whatever. And it's painful to watch. It's sad to watch, especially when some of the people we've discussed, Keanu Reeves is a star. I mean, that's actually maybe my all-time biggest. You
and everybody else more.
I don't
get it.
That one irks me on levels that I can't even begin to describe. So please seek out some of these movies that we've discussed. I think you'll be very happy taking the time to watch them. That's where I'll leave you. Does anyone else have one more parting thought before we go? Everyone good? Susan, you want to sleep with him? No, I don't.
No. just keep on trucking, Matthew.
I will write him an Oscar award-winning role, though.
I'm sure you already have 2 or 3 planned out.
All right. Okay, guys, please tune in, and we'll keep our vast number of opinions on obscure subjects coming. Okay? So take care. Bye now.
Bye.